In this video, we'll be breaking down how to perform the leg press through a full range of motion, as well as some modifications we can make to tailor to you. And without wasting any more of your time, let's just dive right into it. During the leg press, the main muscle you'll be activating is going to be the quads. You'll also get a little bit of glutes in there as well. Now, if you want to, you can copy exactly how I set it up. I get a great stimulus on my quads, and I think following some similar pattern is also going to help you, but trial and error is going to be the best way to find out what actually works best for you. So we're going to be starting in the seat, of course. I adjust the back rest of the leg press all the way back. This will have you start in a less hip flex position, which will actually help you target more of your quads and get more knee bend. And most people can't adequately get down in that deep range of motion without some kind of compensation around it at the low back. So I would always lower the seat back as far as you can. I'm also using an ab mat underneath my low back. This will passively put my spine in a more neutral position and prevent a lot of low back rounding towards the bottom of the leg press. And especially if you have heavy loads, this is going to be really imperative to make sure your low back stays healthy while you're pushing some heavy weights. Now, if you don't have an ab mat at your gym, you can use a half foam roller. You can use a sweatshirt rolled up behind you. You just want to have something underneath your low back and allow you to keep a little bit more of a neutral position and a slight arch when you get deep into hip flexion. The position you put your feet in is going to greatly impact what muscles are going to be working more during the leg press. Higher up on the platform will bias more of your glutes because you're going to have more hip bend in that position, and lower on the platform will emphasize more knee bend and allow you to target more of your quads. I keep my feet wider and lower on the platform because I want to target my quads, and I also want my feet wide enough to allow me to get deeper into hip flexion without my knees hitting my chest. And for some people, flaring the toes out slightly to about 10 to 15 degrees at the very most to help bias a little bit more of external rotation at the hips and just allow you to push a little bit more weight. And so after you have everything adjusted to the settings that you want to, we're going to start the leg press. You're going to grab onto the handles and pull yourself into the seat. This is going to help your butt from lifting up and rounding excessively when you're in that low part of the leg press. You'll start your descent slowly down, focusing on driving the knees forward or driving more knee bend. This is a quad based movement, so we're just going to be focusing on basically straightening the knee and bending the knee over and over to get the most stimulus on those quads. You'll want to make sure you're going through a full range of motion, bringing your knees to your armpits or pretty close to that to make sure that you're getting the full deep stretch at the bottom. The bottom area is where we get a full stretch position of our quads, but we're also going to get in a pretty good stretch of our adductors and our glutes during this time too. You don't want to skip this part because this is where a lot of the gains are actually made. You want to go through your full available range of motion, so do not go down to 90 degrees of knee bend and go back up. That's not a full rep. And at the bottom, you're going to pause briefly, but explode on the way up. Pressing quickly up on the bottom part of the leg press is going to activate and stimulate more muscle fibers than if we were going to go slow. The key difference here is that if you are going to be a little bit more explosive during that bottom part of the leg press when you're extending up, do not fully extend your knee in a ballistic manner. If you go up quickly and you straighten your knees as forcefully as you can, you're more than likely going to hyperextend your knee, and that's what causes the snapping of the knee. You can still straighten the knee, but just make sure not to hyperextend it. But however, more of the time that we should be spending under tension is going to be in that eccentric, or basically the stretch position of the leg press. From here, you're going to rinse and repeat, doing the same motions, making the first rep look like the last rep, and training somewhere close to failure. Generally, you want to train between 0 to 4 RIR, or reps in reserve. This just essentially means that we're going to be training pretty much close to 0 to failure, or basically anywhere between 4 reps in reserve or 4 reps left in the tank before you would actually hit failure on the leg press. If you gained value from this video, please do me a favor, hit like and subscribe if you're feeling generous, because there's more content on the way. And with that being said, peace.